How did this Taylor Swift become this major pop star? Taylor Swift is on a massive concert tour, and Swifties all over the world are hyped.
I'm going back on tour.
Swift calls it a journey through the musical eras of her career. So, let's get into it. This is Can Explains Taylor Swift and her eras. Abigail's version. Taylor Swift was born in West Reading, Pennsylvania. When she was 13, her family moved to a suburb of Nashville, Tennessee called Hendersonville. Taylor loved country music, so she began writing songs in her bedroom. When she was 14, Taylor Swift signed a songwriting deal with Sony ATV. This was a big deal for Sony because at the time, Taylor Swift was their youngest signing ever. Not long after that, Taylor Swift was offered a recording contract from another company called Big Machine Records. She signed that at just 15.
Here's a reason for the teardrops on my guitar.
By the time she was 16, she released her first album called Taylor Swift, and it sold over 1 million copies. It wasn't long before Taylor made the crossover from country to pop. It started with Fearless, but then she became full pop with her album 1989, but not without criticism.
Taylor Swift is definitely not above criticism, and she does face it in the media. Appropriation of various cultures is one of them that we can see in, the Shake It Off music video.
In 2009, Taylor Swift was involved in a controversial moment at the VMAs when rapper Kanye West criticized the singer after winning Best Female Music Video. He said she didn't deserve it. The moment went viral.
I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish. But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time.
The backlash against Kanye initiated a big turning point in her music and career. The next year, she won 4 Grammys.
Thank you so much.
Including top honor of Album of the Year with Fearless. Taylor Swift's third album was Speak Now. It marked a very important chapter in her story. The album was all about her becoming an adult.
Flash forward and we're taking on the world together.
Every single song on that album was written by Taylor Swift alone. I listened to lyrics in those songs and I think, how was she 19 and how was this her third album?
Why does Taylor speak so candidly about relationships?
Love is something that drives a lot of us, and I think we all get inspiration from it, and I think we all look for different ways to understand it in our own lives, and she was able to speak about it very honestly.
By the time Taylor reached the next era, she was speaking out with confidence. In 2017, Reputation was the top-selling album in the US. She was becoming an advocate for musician rights, fighting against sexism, speaking up for the LGBTQ community.
Are you mad when you could be glad?
And urging more young people to vote.
It's not enough to just want to vote. You have to go and make change by voting.
I think one of the most significant ones is a lot of what she's done to fight for other artists' rights on their recording contracts and in the industry, and that's a really big deal to do.
In 2021, Taylor released these 2 records, Fearless, Taylor's version, and Red, Taylor's version. They are re-recordings of 2 of her most successful albums, and so now she owns the masters.
To own the rights to a recording and to own one's own master recording is something that many artists want and maybe don't always realize they have signed away their right to own that.
And now that leads us to the latest chapter in the T-Swift story. In November 2022, Taylor announced the Eras Tour. The 3-hour concert features music from all 10 of her studio albums.
The amount of music that she's released and the range in music that she's released, all of those albums are so different, and I think brought in a lot of different kinds of fans.
So then the obvious question left to ask now is, what's next for Taylor Swift? What might the next era be?
Anything I say, people are going to come up for me 2 years now and say, you were wrong. So
I think that Swift's next era might not be music necessarily.
It's really hard to guess with Taylor.
I think that her next era is going to be something very different, like directing or potentially publishing something like a fictional novel.
I think that's the fun of liking someone like Taylor, is that she puts her whole heart into everything that she makes.
As of the recording of this video, no Canadian dates have been announced. This Canadian girl would like to see Taylor Swift perform live again. That's it for Can Explains. For CBC Kids News, I'm Abigail Dove.